Now, first I would like to welcome everybody. I'm going to go over here for a moment. And I'd like to welcome everybody and thank you for attending today Kurt's Celebration of Life party. And I'm going to be very brief, and I'll encourage anybody else who wants to make remarks to please come up and do so, and be brief as well. The reason that we are having this party, and I want to let everybody know that the host of this party is not me, but Kurt. Kurt provided in his will for this Celebration of Life party. And so you can thank Kurt for the drinks and for the food. Kurt, thank you very much. As we know, Kurt passed on July 18th, 2015. And as we all have heard the saying, the wheels of justice grind exceedingly slow. They actually have 3 speeds. They have slow, slower, and probate. So that's why we're here at this time, not a little earlier. So I'd like to welcome everybody. I also want to read a few remarks that some people who couldn't be here had emailed me. Now, there's a friend of ours who produced that trilogy CD you see over there, which was originally sold as a vinyl LP in the club when we worked at the Beowulf. And this guy has ears that you wouldn't believe. He has such great ears, he was able to take all the clicks, pops, and all the stuff out of a vinyl record and make it CD quality. And for those of you who haven't heard it, you are encouraged. You can take one of the CD albums over there home with you from the trilogy. So this is the fellow who actually mastered it, and we all wrote to each other by email, but we never met. He lives in Seattle. And he said, well, Kurt and I never met in person, but I caught his good vibe all the way from Seattle. We were email pals for about 10 years after I remastered the 2 sides of the trilogy album for Kurt and Ike Reeves at the behest of our mutual friends. We all quickly became friends. Kurt and I graciously played on several albums of mine. And Kurt and I had some great conversations about music. I'll truly miss our many chats. Thanks for your friendship, Kurt. I have only happy memories of you. And this is from somebody that nobody here knows. His name is Dana Countryman, but he is a fellow with genius ears, and he remastered the trilogy album. So you'll hear his work if you take one home with you. Now there's another one here from Tammy Toyen. Now, if you knew Myrna Toyen, that was one of Kurt's early girlfriends back in the late 60s. And he said, she said, so sorry to hear about Kurt's passing. We were very good friends in the 70s when I worked as a photographer in the clubs he was playing, and how I loved his music and him. Kurt's mom gave me a picture, actually a portrait of Kurt in his army uniform, and I colored it in as it was in sepia, and worked on that type of photo. And you could see Myrna's work, Tammy's work, over there. There's an army picture, and it's sort of a sepia photo colored in. That's what she used to do when she met Kurt, who was playing music. Tommy Gannon. Everybody knows Tommy Gannon, right?
Yes.
Tommy Gannon wrote, Kurt was a classy, talented, and always cheerful guy. He was a credit to the music profession and will be sorely missed, and we can all agree. Barbara Coffey, one of Kurt's high school. Raise your hand if you were part of Kurt's high school class. There aren't that many here, but we just got a few. And everybody else either knew Kurt through work, or from being a musician down here, or from being a neighbor, or from being a friend. And anyway, Barbara wrote, I will miss Kurt's friendship, humor, and talent. I will remember his Flight of the Bumblebee, seeing him on the Radio City stage in 1964, hearing his performances over the decades. His talent, which enabled him to have a career he loved, was so impressive that his Army CO arranged for him to stay stateside during the Vietnam War. That's a long story in itself I won't go into. Perhaps allowing us another 50 years to appreciate our friend. Very well said. That's about it. Let me just see if there's one more. No, that's it, except I'll tell you the brief story of Kurt and my friendship, and that is I met him in the Army in 1966, and it was he who suggested that I move down to Florida, take a shortcut from working in New York and retired, and come down to Florida to work right away. And he got me a gig with Ben Champion. He allowed me to stay at his house with his parents for 3 months until I found a place. His mother, who played organ in restaurants, had a Hammond organ in the house, which I borrowed on the gig. And so I would say he made my transition to Florida very easy. Now, besides all the musical tricks and techniques he taught me for arranging and for electronic arranging, I can only say that anybody who has anything good to say about me, you can probably thank Kurt for about 75% of it. Because he was a great role model, a great gentleman, one of the best friends anyone could have. 50 years of friendship without a harsh word. I don't think anybody could say that. So let's give Kurt a big hand. For the rest of you, please enjoy the afternoon and have a good time. We're going to relax. This is one of these musicians' parties where the band gets to eat and drink. Okay, everyone, thank you so much. Enjoy.